Good morning. Oh, okay. Putting my stuff down. I've got my milk and a muffin today for breakfast. I have purchased the star for the tree. All right, so today is, what's today? The 29th? November 29th. And it's early morning. It is 6:20-ish. And turning on the first Christmas tree. Oh, there's a tree in the reception area I have not turned on. But then I'm turning on these Christmas lights. And it's just there. We've got the Merry and Bright sign up. I've got my little tree there. And that's probably all of the decorating that I'm going to do for Christmas. Oh, and then I also finished, or I did, this little tree here in the middle, which I don't love how that turned out, but I just kind of threw it up there. Usually, Miss Martinez, she was really big on the decorating and stuff for Christmas, and so, you know, we kind of went all out. And I used to always go all out, but for whatever reason this year, I was kind of like, yeah, we're not going to do that. I do need to clock in, so I'm going to run and do that, and then I will come back and get ready and share with you guys what we're going to be working on today. All right, good morning. All right, so today is the first Monday that we're back from Thanksgiving break. On the YouTube channel, it's already probably, you know, well into December when you're watching this. I've got 2 weeks worth of, I think it's 2 weeks. It's 2 memory cards. Actually, it's 3 that have content from previous weeks. I told myself that I would not touch my computer, that I would not do any schoolwork this past week, that I took my computer home in case I needed it, although I just charged it yesterday and I didn't touch it. Maybe just for moving it around, but I really didn't open it. I checked my email last night just to see if there's anything, you know, pressing for today, or reminders or anything that I needed to take care of. But I did say that I would not work on any school stuff this last week. And that's a first. Like, there might have been one summer, like the summer I went to Europe, or the summer I was in Hawaii. When I helped open up the school in Hawaii, I tried working on my lesson plans for this school year, but I was busy with their curriculum and their stuff that it was hard to do both. So I would say I did try to work on stuff, but I wasn't successful at it. But I usually always prepare ahead of time, and I use the time that I have off to do so. But now that I'm a mom, it's hard to have that free time and want to spend it on anything other than my son. You know what I mean? And I feel so guilty, and I need to stop. And it's hard for me to let go. And it's hard for me to not plan. It's hard for me to sit there, you know, on the floor playing with him and not have in the back of my mind, oh, I need a lesson. What are we doing tomorrow? And next week we're going to do this. And I haven't, like, it's hard for me to, like, cut it off. And reason being is because the last 10 years of my life, well, for the district, I've taught more than that, but 11 really now. But before I had my son, my entire life revolved around my career, revolved around my classroom, revolved around my students. Everything and anything I did was for my students, for the benefit of them, for, you know, my entire time spent was for them. Yeah, I was still married to Charles, but and spend time with him and such, but I always put my career first. Always. And now with my son, of course, they say, you know, once you get married, your mindset changes. Once you have an animal, your mindset changes. Once you have a child or children, your mindset totally changes. And I knew that, but I didn't really experience that or know that because, you know, it wasn't part of my life at that time. So now that I do have that, I have my son. Now that I have that, now I actually, oh, Prezi is recording me. Sorry. Oh, what's going on here? It just the computer automatically started recording me. Now that I have, you know, that my son in my life, and I have that mentality, that mom mentality, I've had to redirect my thoughts. I've had to change the way that I think and how I spend my time. And because I came from such a long time of focusing on one thing, and now like in 1 year, you know, I was pregnant for a year, and then COVID happened, that like threw everything off, obviously. But and then now I have him to tend to redirect my entire I told my husband, okay, like, I told my husband that, and I would always say this, if I ever get pregnant, if I ever have a child, it will change the reason for my existence. So before I existed for my career, for my husband, for my family, you know, mom, you know, dad, that kind, brothers, that kind of thing, right? And that if I ever had a kid, it would change the reason for my existence, because my whole everything, my entire being, my purpose is my child. And when I, you know, was deciding on do I leave, do I stay, I should be an at-home mom, all that, you know, it was very hard to let go. I cried a lot, like a big baby. When I had at the time decided that I was going to leave teaching, because I felt like it wasn't planned. He wasn't planned. I'm not saying that we didn't, you know, want a baby, but, you know, he was kind of like, oh, okay, we're having a baby, yay, you know, we're very happy and blessed by that. But it was just kind of like, how can I say? And without offending anybody, obviously if you don't have a child, you're not gonna think this way, because, you know, it's different. Your mindset and your mentality is very different when you have children and when you don't have children. Like I always say, animal people are very different than people that are not animal people. You know, like your heart's a little bit different, because your thinking is different. You know, your responsibility and your care and your love and your attention to that animal is different than if you don't have one. You know, because then it's not about you. Like when you don't have any responsibilities, like animal or a human to take care of, a little human, or an elderly even, you know, like it's just you. You're, and not saying it rudely, but you're just concentrate on you, so you're selfish in a respectful way, because everything's about you, because it can be, because you don't have anything to worry about or to tend to or take care of or be responsible for. When you have an animal, you have that responsibility of that animal to care for them, love on them. You are their voice, right? So your mindset changes and shifts a little bit, and your heart is a little bit more tender and changes as well. And then if you have a little human to take care of, then that definitely changes your mindset, because it's not about you anymore. It's more about, you know, what is the best for that person, and what you need to do. So definitely not a selfish heart or a selfish being at that point. So I always told him, you know, once I did have him, that it would absolutely be that. It would be that he would be my everything, my reason. And so this past week, I thought, okay, well, if I, you know, take my computer home, it definitely is just going to be just in case I need to check it or check email or, you know, do something of the sort. But I definitely did not. And spending all the time and most of all the time on him and with him and such, I don't sit here or stand here and regret it, because it's definitely well worth every second that I spent on him and with him. And the mind shift, the mindset or the mind shift definitely is hard, because when you're so used to doing one thing for such a long time, and then all of a sudden in a year or two, it's not, you don't do that anymore. It's kind of like when you start when you're a smoker. I don't smoke. Smoking is like, it gives you wrinkles, y'all, and it makes your nails yellow, and it makes your teeth yellow, and it gives stinky breath, and it gives you wrinkles. And anyway, so smoking, or doing drugs or being an alcoholic, and I don't do any of those or have ever done any of those, but it's kind of like, so I can just say, because I've heard it, I can't say I'm not speaking from experience, right? But it's like when you're an addict to something. I was an addict to my career. I honestly truly was. And then all of a sudden it's cold turkey, you gotta stop. Right? And then throw the pandemic in there, right? And so that made it even worse. So it's kind of like that. I was an addict to my career, then all of a sudden I had him, and then I had to stop. And it wasn't like a planned thing, like I said. It was kind of like, oh, okay, this is happening, so now we've got to, shift our mindset, and then, we've got to move over and move everything else over, and then put him first. And so that definitely kind of made a big difference as far as the, structure of the extra time that was available. And so that's kind of how that goes, or how that went. Okay. Just kind of a moment there. I felt like I kept rambling. Students kept coming in. It's about the time that they're actually a little bit early today, but it's about the time that they start walking in. So I had them take their kids home and over the break, and so they're bringing them in. So I, stopped the video. Anyway, I was talking about how I didn't do anything over the break, and now I'm like, what am I gonna do? But luckily, I had already planned week ahead here, 3 weeks, planned the rest of the week 15, 16, and 17. There's 37 weeks in the semester. So those are the weeks that I planned. So with my sophomores, we're starting gel. So we're doing the theory today. And then we're going to do spider gel, the chrome designs, a nail, and then their 5 nail designs. They're also going to be doing their book work. And then the following week, we're going to go over infection control, starting and revving up for the services for next semester. They've already done 2 weeks last year, so they're only going to do 1 week this year. And then when we spend over on that chapter, and then the week 17 is the semester exam, and then Kudo Navigate, which gives the students like a thing that we're required to do by the district, and then it's the end of the semester, which the kids are going to be completely checked out, but we do have those few things to cover. And so that's that. So right now I'm going over, turn this around here, I'm going over, while I'm eating my muffin here, I'm going over the Prezi, and the Prezi that's going to be over gels. So this, I like working with Prezi because I like the way it looks, and I like that it's a little bit more interactive. I like the look of it, and I really just enjoy working with Prezi. So I've made this last year. I revamped it last year. So it has like the theory of the gel that when I do my presentations, my Prezis or PowerPoints, I go through the book, the textbook, and I whatever the textbook says, or what the textbook is in there and that I need to make sure to teach, I put it in my PowerPoint, but I put it in my own words, or I put it in my own. I like to teach with pictures and very little words, and I don't like to read to the students because they can read. And I like to teach from memory. I don't like to teach from the PowerPoint or from the book. So because when you do that, I personally, just my personal opinion, and if I stand in front of the classroom and I'm reading, I'm not facing the students, I'm facing the PowerPoint, and I'm reading the PowerPoint to them, then I kind of mean that or show that, or look like I don't know what I don't know the content, right? Because I'm reading it to them. But if I have a picture up there with very little or no words, yet I am teaching them from my memory, then it shows that I know what I'm talking about. Like I know the content because I'm not reading it. Anyway, that's just me. I don't like when people read things to me. I can read. I just want you to tell me your thoughts about that topic or thing or whatever. But I can read. That's just me. That's just my teaching style. So anyway, so I have that. We're going to go over that today. They're going to take their notes. I do have their little packet. Theirs is in black and white, but this is a little gel packet. So they're going to take the notes on the back part. And then so it just goes over gel supplies. It goes over the application of gel, and there's space for notes purposefully. And then we go over the removal just with pencil or with a drill, as well as with their removal tool that they got in their kit. We're also going to talk over the final exam that we have scheduled, and so we've got the dates for the final exam there, so we're gonna get over that. And then also too, I've already printed the final exam. So in this folder here, we have, this is my sophomore folder, and so I already have my semester exam printed or copied, copied, and ready. I just gotta get the freshman one set. The freshman one, I've got to work on. So we've got about 7 minutes or so before, or probably 10 minutes before they get in. So, and I've already planned my the last 3 weeks of the semester for, can you believe it's already here? The last 3 weeks of the semester for my, what are we working on today? Infection, we start infection control with them today. And then we go on to Cooter. So they usually have 2 weeks worth of infection control their freshman year, because I drill it into them. And then we move on to 1 week of it sophomore year, and then 1 week of it, I believe it's 1 week, junior and senior year, or however they do. So just to make sure that they get that information, it's always very detailed freshman year, so that's why it's 2 weeks worth. And this year I'm trying something a little bit different, so we'll see how that works. They changed Cooter up a little bit, so and the way it's scheduled. But then I also have the salons that I was thinking of doing, and our deadline for Skills USA. Anyway, there's just a lot of deadlines, a lot of stuff going on. For Skills USA, I've got to get that going as well. So, all right, well, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'll catch up with you guys in just a little bit. All right, guys, it is lunchtime. I just finished listening to, so I have this kick. I have this plan. Okay. Every year, I used to do New Year's resolutions, but they don't work. I'm not disciplined enough to make them work. That's just not me. So what I would do is I would make a resolution and then do it for like a week or a day. One time I went to the park that January 1st with my husband. A few years back, wasn't that a long time ago. And then we never went back. The entire year we never went back. So it's not necessarily, it wasn't successful. And a big lesson that I learned with this channel is, maybe it was 3 years ago, I came in first day of school, or first day teacher back, and I was recording, and I posted this video up somewhere in here, and it said, I was saying that I was going to record every day, and that I was going to post every day, and that was like my intention, but it never happened because I wasn't in a time frame of my life where I was focused enough on that to be able to do that, or to be disciplined to do that. And so it didn't work out. I only posted on YouTube every whenever. This school year, I was a little bit more intentional, and I didn't make it a focus. I didn't set out to post daily. I didn't say to myself or say to the universe or whatever, however you want to see it, I'm going to post every day. I'm going to record every day. I'm going to post every day. I just kind of started doing it. And if it got done, great. And if it didn't, big deal. I wasn't disappointed by it. I didn't have high expectations. It was just something that I did. So I keep this camera, which you guys have seen. Let me show yourself. This is the camera right in front of me. And I sit here and I record, right? Oh, that would be a good picture for my, right? For the picture on the YouTube video. Anyway, so I never really set that out, and I just said if it happens, great. If it doesn't, whatever, and just roll with it. And oddly enough, I have recorded. Now, okay, recorded and posted are two different things. I have recorded. What, we're on week 15 of the 15 weeks. Well, 14 because this is the first day of the 15th week, but of the 14 weeks so far, I maybe have not recorded a school day maybe 5 times that I have not touched the camera. Every day I'll grab it and I'll record something. Granted, it takes time and I don't have time, so it's not always like an awesome video or awesome content. Sometimes like I'll record the weekend and put it in one video. There's those 2 weeks that I lost a while back. There's that, and then, but I've just made it part of my routine. I wasn't intentional with it. It's just something that I do. So in doing so, I've recorded, and I have 2 weeks of content, 3 memory cards of content that I guess 3 weeks that I need to post to catch up with today's video, which is today's November 29th. And I would like to catch up for the end of the year. I want to post everything. Even if I have to post 2 videos a day, I want to post everything on December 31st, like that's it. And that's just kind of, I record, but I don't necessarily post. That's the other thing I was saying, is separated. So in posting, I didn't post Thanksgiving week. I posted because I had pre-recorded some lessons that I had pre-scheduled, that when I went back and looked at it, I forgot to change the name of the video titles and I forgot to change the picture. I need to fix that. But in the 14 weeks, I think only 3 weeks I had not posted anything. So let's just say that I've posted every day for 10 weeks. Sometimes I've posted multiple videos a day. That's pretty good, considering that it wasn't intentional. Like, I didn't do it like I have to do it, right? I didn't set it as a goal. It was just something I started to do. And I learned from that. I learned that when you this is just me, and not you in general, but just, I added something to my schedule or to my task or to-do list or my docket. And then it just kind of happened, because I didn't make it as I have to. It's just, if it happens, great, and if not, it's all right. And I felt like I accomplished it wasn't a goal, but I was able to do it. And I got it done better and easier. So it was very interesting. So, and that kind of, like, every stage of your life, you learn something. The good things and the bad things, they teach you different things and they prepare you for the future. So as far as getting to the New Year's resolutions, I would always make a resolution and it didn't work out. So then I said, okay, well, let me just get a word. I'm going to pick a word, and whatever that word is, I'm going to use it for the for the year, and then that's going to be my word. Whatever it is that I do or I think of or buy or memories I create, I'm going to keep that word in mind. So one year, my word was explore. So I would go out and my free time, I would go out and explore. And that's just, and I didn't intentionally, like, okay, I'm going to get my calendar out, I'm going to plan something, I'm going to go do it. It wasn't like that. It was just that word was in the back of my mind always. And whenever I had the opportunity to, I went and I explored. I'd go to a new park, find a new trail, vacation. I would, explore a new opportunity, like just explore, like find new things, learn new things, explore. Get on YouTube and I learned a bunch of new techniques, new lessons and things of this sort. Take new classes. Like that was 1 year. And at the end of that year, it worked out pretty good. And I was like, wow, okay, let me reflect back. And when I reflect back on everything that I did that year, I was like, wow, this worked. I actually explored a lot and I learned a lot and I did a lot. Okay, so then I continued to do it. Another year. The word was give. So I was doing some 5Ks and then would try to pass up people and how many people I passed up times so many dollars, and I would go buy dog food dog food and go donate it to the animal shelter, and then just give my time, give my service, give my energy, give my ideas, give my finances, give my donate, just give. And that's what I did the whole year. And it was, when I reflected back on the entire year, I was like, wow, I gave a lot. Not just financially, but just gave a lot. I gave a lot of effort, gave a lot of time, gave a lot of emotional, support, gave a lot, and it worked. And I was happy with that. So I think it's been 4 years. And the word this year was be ready. And just be ready. That was just always been in the back of my mind what that word was with 2 words this time. But be ready. Be ready for anything. Be ready for work. Be ready for my lessons. Be ready for have the dishes done at night so they're ready the next day. Get the groceries on time so we have food. Do the laundry on time so that we're ready for the next day. It's just be ready if there's an event coming up or a birthday party coming up or something of the sort. Just always do it ahead of time and just be ready for all of that. And so that's kind of was my mindset this last year. And then now reflecting back on that, I remember every time of that I was like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. That word popped up, be ready. I was like, oh, be ready. Okay, yeah. And so it's kind of motivated me to get up and to go do what I needed to do to be ready for whatever needed to come up. Excuse me. And I noticed that I was pretty successful. I was able to do the things that I typically leave to the last minute because I'm a huge procrastinator. So I'm a little less of a procrastinator this year because of that. Be ready. That was my word, my phrase for my intention for the year. And so now for next year, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, it's almost December. Right, it's November 29th. What is going to be my word? And so I've been thinking, and I've thought of other words. One would be us, working with, my relationship with my husband and spending time, quality time. Another thing was my son. And, then I took into account, I was like, well, what was last year or the year before? Well, be ready was more or less for my son. Be ready so that he has what he needs. You spend the time with him, things of the sort. So I had my son. My son just turned a year. Excuse me, I need some water. My son just turned a year, so that was that 1 year that my focus was him. And then the year before, of course, COVID year was the year that I was expecting and had him. So that year was. It was COVID year. I don't know. I don't remember that I had a word, or if I had one COVID happened and then we were at home and then it just went to poop. Honestly, 2019 was the year. That was my year. I was amazing, and I was on top of my game, and I got awards and was involved in everything, and I it's just the wheel was well oiled and it was just rolling, and I was just rolling, and then COVID happened and fell apart. And I thought 2020 was my year, but I found out I was expecting my son, and then COVID happened, and then that was just kind of it. So it was kind of the shutdown year. And so then when I was thinking, I was like, what's the word? What do I want to work on? What do I want to? And then the word me just kept popping back up. It just kept coming and coming. And I was like, no, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to. There was another word, and in the back of my mind it was just me. So I was like, okay. Sometimes, the good Lord puts, in my opinion, the good Lord, or my belief, the good Lord sometimes whispers things to you, and you've got to, kind of pick up on those things. And so I was like, okay, I hear you. I got it. Okay, me. So then my word for next year is going to be me. So I'm kind of embarrassed even saying it because I feel like it's selfish. I feel like, oh, why me? Like, why should I focus on me? Or I have a son, I have a husband, I have family, I have a career, I have, focus on all that. But then I was listening to, which I was just listening to, and let me read it to you. It's the Oprah's 2020 Vision Tour. It's the different interviews with different people, and I saw the one with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and the one with Jennifer Lopez, and the one with, just finished watching the one with Tina Fey, and the one with Michelle Obama. And I love motivation, inspirational videos and books and things like that. And I picked up a book and I brought it, and we're like, when do I have time to read that? But I have time to listen. So let me get some water. When do I have time to listen? So I definitely was able to listen to those. And in listening to those, I heard a lot of things that, are not necessarily new, right? You hear a lot of things, they're not always new. They're things that you already know, but sometimes they are things that you forget, right? Or there are things that you don't come across them regularly, so you forget about them, and you have to rehear it, or you have to be retold, and then you have to remember, and you're like, oh yeah, yes, no, of course, that makes sense. I've heard that before, and oh no, I know that, but why don't I do it? And so in watching those, they're like 45 minutes to an hour videos. So while I was cleaning and getting ready and doing laundry and all that, I was watching that in my late bed, and I just finished watching the Tina Fey one. But just picking up on things that I can use for next year, things like self-improvement. So one of the things that they said was the word, like, what's your intention for the year? Pick the word, what's your word? And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that too. Okay, great. So I'm not crazy, I'm not the only one. So that kind of was like a little bit of insurance. And another thing was Michelle Obama said, you're responsible for your own habit, which I had heard Will Smith say this in a video that I randomly ran across, but I heard her say it, and I was like, okay, it's not just one person, and it's not just from a male perspective, like it's a female saying it, and very successful and educated female. And so Oprah was also talking about it, and so Oprah, of course, Oprah Winfrey. What wisdom does she not have, in my opinion? But so she was saying, you are responsible for your own happiness, and if you're happy and your cup is full, then you can serve others. They get the best of you. When she said, your children get the best of their mom, and then I was like, that hit me, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm always tired. So looking back on these videos, I'm always tired, I'm always running, I'm always go, I'm always like mile a minute, 100 different directions, like a chicken with its head cut off. And so then that got me, like, kind of reassured me, like, okay, me is my word. So then me is going to be my word for next year. So I am starting to get the ball rolling, so that it's not January 1st, like, it started, and let's like cold turkey, like, stop the way I'm living now and just change it and start doing these things to make me the focus, or me, invest a little bit of more of my time in me, but just to make it a habit, kind of like I started recording videos, and it's a habit. It's just something that I do. So I cooked fish, broccoli, and white rice last night. So, okay, battery ran out. Oh wow, and this got really crooked. Okay, so that was just kind of, what I was doing yesterday and getting everything ready. Now I also have this, the book. I started reading it, and then I didn't finish reading it, and then it has a workbook. So, and I also had stopped carrying a purse. It's been a long time, so then I also brought my purse to start carrying it. Just, I don't know why, just give it, not that I like use a lot of the stuff that's in there, but just to start, feeling that change, getting ready and prepared. And then I brought my book. I picked up my book again. It's called Girl Boss, and has a workbook. So I've had this, I started reading it, and I did not get to finish reading it. So I got that, and I got my little fancy bookmark that I need to put in there. just to kind of, you know, if you're gonna read and do stuff, like, be fancy. You're already gonna do it anyway. Oh, my light went out. I've been sitting here for a little bit. I didn't turn that on. And, you know, just getting the gist of things and getting the ball rolling. And then I have my journal, and on the back of my journal I've been writing like different things from the videos that I've been listening to. For example, keep growing, don't get complacent, make it exciting for myself. What? Make it exciting for myself. Like, I always do so much for others, and typically, I guess you can say, when I do things for others, it makes me feel good. I'm a people pleaser. That's also my toxin, right? Like, I bend over backwards so much for people, and I don't always get my cup full in return. It fills my cup to, I personally fill my own cup when I do things for others, but others don't always return that, and that cup, that particular cup doesn't get full. And not that I expect others to do things for me, I don't, but it's nice, you know. And so when I realize, like, oh, I do like for others to do things for me, but I don't get that often, so I don't really like, I don't need it. Maybe I do need it. But when I heard this from one of those videos that Oprah was you know, interviews she was doing, when it said make it exciting for yourself, I was like, wow, make it exciting for myself. I never thought of it that way. I always thought of it like everything I do has to be for others. And no, it does not have to be for others. It has to be to make me happy. So if I put me as my word when I do things, I'll now remember that and do it with more intention, and then that will make me more happy. And then if I'm a happier version of myself, I'm not saying I'm not happy, I am happy, but a happier version of myself, then my son will get a happier version of me. Does that make sense? So it's to benefit him in the end, but definitely to take care of myself. So take care of yourself so you can care for others. Do what you are designed to do so others that are watching can do what they're supposed to do. Kind of like the person that invented the light bulb, right? With Thomas Edison, he had to do what he couldn't sit on his butt. He had to invent it so that everybody else could do what we all needed to do with that invention of his, right? If you would just sat and been lazy, we might not have light, right? You know what I mean? And so then I just have like this list of things that I've been writing down. It started yesterday, y'all. Just yesterday. Just to have a little downtime before I had to go to sleep. But, and then going to sleep at 11. So that's my time. I told myself that I would go to sleep at 11 and I would not stay up past 11. So little things like that, little by little, that I'm going to start working on, so that I can, by the time, it turned on, that never happens. By the time that, it's color balancing, by the time that January 1st hits, it's not like, okay, we're going to the gym today, right? It's not like a drastic thing. It's okay, great, this is now what is normal, is a new normal, so then this is now what I'm going to continue to do. And if it gets done, great. If it doesn't, it's okay. And as an instructor, as a teacher, you kind of gotta take care of yourself so that you can, you know, take care of others. Because if you're not fully rested, you're tired. If you're tired, you're not going to give it all to your lesson. If you don't give it all to your lesson, then your students don't get the whole lesson the way they should get it. When you're tired, you can't be walking around on the salon floor, the clinic floor, the lab, or whatever you can call it. You can't be walking around checking all the haircuts or doing all the hair color. You can't have the same energy. You can't. So it does, you gotta take care of you, because the state you are in affects the students in your classroom. If you're happy and in a good mood, then it's great, it's positive and happy, and the kids feed off of that. And if you're grumpy and tired and just not in the mood, the kids are going to feed off of that, and that is a guarantee. So I'm going to try it and see how the me thing goes. I honestly do, bottom of my heart, I feel guilty that I'm like, I should be like doing something else for someone else. But it is true, like Michelle said, you know, if you do the best for you. If you're happy, you and your mom, your children get the better version of you. And I want that. I want that for my son. So I'm gonna work on that next year. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll actually go get a haircut instead of cutting it myself, or maybe I will wax my mustache or get my brows done, you know, or sleep on time. And if it gets done, great. And if it doesn't, no big deal. But it's been a good start so far. And if I fall off of the wagon, it's okay. Just get back up. That's something that I've always been really hard on myself. If I ever fall off the wagon, then I just stay down. I don't typically get back up. And I need to not do that. I need to get up and wipe myself down or up or off or however you want to say it, and then go. So, prior to, I had cleaned my closet, so I'm going to show you guys. Y'all check this out. You can see the floor. You can see the floor. I did just pick up a few more boxes, and so some of these I will be using, but I went ahead and look, all the boxes up there, they're all boxes now. I've got a few more that I can plug in here, which is what these are for. And this is going to be for the, I've got like $400 more that I need to spend for supplies, so I'm going to go ahead and order those things. Excuse me. And then I've got these things that I need to put away. Now the lashes, I've got my lash box here. The lashes, we're going to put a hold on the paper lashes, the fun lashes and such, and we're going to move on to infection control to get ready for those chapters for the students. So I went ahead and pulled out of here all of the gel products that I have that we're going to be using starting tomorrow. The other side of that, those are the base coats. These are all the gels that we have the gel pots as well, and then these two, and then these gel pots I hadn't gotten, and they have flowers in them, so we're going to use those. These I need to they're probably not good anymore. We've had these for a good few years. Probably need to see if those are dried out. The toothpicks are going to be used for the spider gel technique. These are prizes for me to give away. The sponges are for the chrome. Okay, using the inhibition layer to add the glitter for the chrome. And then these are the swatches that I'm going to teach them how to create. So these I'm going to be just demoing on, showing them the different kinds of swatches that there are. And then this is let me put this down this way here. This is a swatch that, put it this way, that I found on Amazon. Y'all know I love me some Amazon. Where's the opening? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's turn it this way. So these are, now these worked out great for the Day of the Dead because of the rose that they have in the middle. And these are swatches that are 3-in-1, which I really like because, right, it's just 1, 2, 3 nail tips, but it's in one stem. So they're going to do their art on here. So each of the students is going to get one of these and do their gel art on here. Once they learn those different techniques. So I bought 2 of these, 300 here. And so this is what I have for tomorrow and for the week. I've already done the board for the week, so we do have the board. The board is ready. And then we will be using the hands as well, so the hands are back there as well. The freshmen will not be bringing their kits back simply because we're not going to be doing any of those hands-on projects anytime soon. We are moving on to kind of more bookwork type of I guess lessons and such. So we definitely don't have the need for their kits here on campus right now. So I told them to just go ahead and take it home. Sorry. Told them to go ahead and take it home, and then I would tell them what to bring, when to bring. I turn my light red since it's Christmas time. And so that's pretty much it. So I just want to share that with you and share my intention for the year, my word is going to be, and hopefully it will encourage somebody to pick a word or an intention for the year, and kind of just keep it in the back of your mind. And then, see what happens with that word. See what you do with that word. You can challenge yourself if you're the person, type person to like to do that, or you can just kind of see what comes about from doing it. But it definitely teaches you a lot about yourself, if nothing else. So hopefully that encourages someone. I'm going to be, so this year I tried something a little bit different, or trying something a little bit different. I used to always teach the chapters, history of cosmetology is always first, obviously, because of history, but chapters 2, 3, and 4, right? Communication for success and professional image, those things of the sort. Those I usually used to teach them at the beginning of the school year, but this year I'm going to teach them at the beginning of the semester for my freshmen. So what I want to do is I want to do a character development. So I want to help them develop their character. And so I have my emoji decorations and stuff that I'll pull out for January and do all that kind of stuff. But I do want to go over those chapters with them at that point, because it's the beginning of the year, the fiscal year, and people are a little bit more apt to, improve themselves. And I'm going to try to see if that's a little bit more fitting than to putting those chapters at the beginning of the school year in August. If I have more success with the character development in January than I do in August, then I'm gonna permanently move it to January. If it doesn't work, big deal, but if it works, then good. We tried something new and it was successful, and we have created something new, right? And we'll grow from that. I think it's gonna work. I don't know. I will let you know. But that's kind of where my mindset is for those chapters. Anyway, that's what I have. I'm going to go through the Prezi for infection control to get that ready for my freshmen, because second semester we're also going to be doing, they're doing the vocabulary today, they're doing the bookwork tomorrow, but and then the Prezi the last 3 days of the week. But we're doing that because we're going to start in January. We're going to start on the hands-on. So we're starting on the hands-on on the facial lessons. Everybody has their kit now. COVID another reason why I've kind of been pushing, 2 reasons why I've been pushing the hands-on facial stuff. One, not everybody had their kit. But now that the second order kit there's some items missing, but most of the stuff is here, so now we have what we need, okay? 2, COVID. When we do facials, we gotta take our mask off, and I didn't want to, but now there's like there's another variant or something, Omni something, it sounds like unicorn, Omnicorn or Omni something, I don't know. I just heard about it yesterday. But, it's like, when can I, because facials, they do on themselves, and you got to take your mask off for that, and then they always talk. No matter how hard you try, they're always going to talk. Take them out to the lab, but Miss Amy, now that, they're going to start the, we're trying to test them, closer to the beginning of the fiscal year instead of the end of the semester, and so I don't want to bump into them, and because they're state board prepping, and to keep them in the room, and it's a closed area instead of the lab that's kind of open area, and it's just, I don't know what to do. And so that's kind of 2 reasons why I've been pushing the hands-on back as much as I can, but like I'm getting to a point where I'm like, okay, we need to get to the hands-on. So anyway, all right, we'll figure that out, let you guys know how it goes. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already done so, and hopefully you're encouraged to find yourself a word and focus on that and be a better you. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Okay, so perfect example of why you need to focus on you so that your kids, personal kids or school kids, get the best version of you, right now. I went because last week I went to sleep 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Because the only time that I can get things done is when the little one goes to sleep, and then of course it takes a long time for me to get whatever done. Anyway, so I'm sitting here, I need to get work done, and I'm just like, oh, I just want to sit here and close my eyes. And so then reminded me of me, right, my word. I'm like, oh man, okay, so tonight I need to go to sleep early, get some rest, so that way tomorrow I have, you know, full energy and da-da-da. So why you need to focus on you? This is why. So you don't fall asleep at work. I'm just saying. I'm not falling asleep at work. I'm just saying I feel like falling asleep at work. Okay, so just want to clarify. Hey guys, stay tuned for tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be sharing with you my field trip that I love taking my students on. I take my sophomores to this field trip, and it's a long time coming. I usually do the first semester close to the beginning of school year, but COVID and all that. So I'm gonna shoot for January 7th. It is a Friday, and we're gonna go to these different beauty supply stores in the Houston area. Check it out. Stay tuned for tomorrow.